All right. Okay. Give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen.
Yes, I see your screen.
Okay. All right, guys. Welcome. Welcome to eMigr8. For those that are just joining us for the first time, we are a tech-enabled pathway to relocation and settlement. We're a platform that enables you um, move to a new economy, like I like to put it. We're also a platform that appraises you in such a way that you are putting your best foot forward to becoming, globally attractive and becoming sought after by nations and industries across the globe, right? For those that have, are regular on the platform, welcome back. Hope you are making good progress on your journey. It's good to always have you in the house. Please drop a comment on the chat. We'd like to know how you feel of people in the room, your name, what you do. If you're a developer, let's know the stack you're building. If you are a product manager or what we call a non-business tech person, we like to know who is in the room. If you're on the global talent path already, please mention. If you are on a different visa route, also mention so that we can we like to speak to the diversity of the people in the room. If you mention, you give us an idea who we're talking to and can tailor our conversations towards your circumstance or towards your path. All right. eMigr8 is the tech-enabled pathway to settlement and relocation. Um, we're talking about settling in the UK as a tech talent today. We're going to be talking about, we have a coach who has moved over to the UK, who is now settled in the UK. We also have one of our eMigr8 coaches in the house, Mr. Bade, who will also answer questions around settling in the UK, right? So this promises to be a fantastic edition. This promises to be a fantastic edition. But previously on eMigr8, we have talked about extensively about different relocation routes, from move to the US, to move to Australia, to even move to Hong Kong. We have talked about the full stretch. We've talked every maybe more continents in the world. Let me not say every continent. We've not talked about Antarctica yet. But we've talked about Asia, we've talked about America, North America, we've talked about Africa, we've talked about Europe extensively, the UK being chiefly among those, right? And we're going to be talking about UK again today. We have a YouTube page. Please do well to subscribe to the page if you are on YouTube, right? And we have loads of information on our YouTube page, loads of free resource, free information with regards to travel, emigrate, being globally attractive, right? So do well to hit the follow button or hit the subscribe button on YouTube so that you get notified when we drop new videos and you are able to catch us anytime when we have new content on YouTube, right? So settle in the UK as a tech talent is what we're going to be talking about today. Let me raise. We have an ongoing campaign which we'll talk about briefly, which is settled in the UK as a tech talent, which encompasses what we're going to be talking about today. So it's very beginner friendly today. It's very expert friendly too. So if you're a beginner in the room, you chose a good session to join. If you're an expert in the room, we're going to be giving you tips on how to navigate with respect to your journey. This is very family oriented pathway, certainly in the UK plan that we're going to talk about. You can move with your spouse. It requires a bit of your time and investment. It requires a bit of your dedication. It's a 3 to 6 months timeline estimated, depending on how fast you want to move, right? And if you're already in the UK and you're looking to switch visas, this is also very friendly and very useful to you. So stick around. A subsequent edition, we'll be talking about I moved to the UK, looking at the Innovator Founder visa and the Technician visa. We will post updates on our social media handles as we get closer to those dates, right? What is eMigr8? I've spoken extensively about that. Our goal and our objective is to make you become globally attractive, right? We help you become globally attractive by appraising your tech profile and appraising all your tech business, right, in such a way that you are putting your best foot forward and being able to be very competitive in the in the market. When you look at tech, I like to say, if you are not aware already, we only talk about tech on this platform. So if you are, in the trying to sort out education route or trying to sort out healthcare route, you probably will not have the information you're looking for here. But if you are in tech or you know someone that's in tech, this is the platform they want to be, right? For us, the visa is only a side effect of the objective. The objective is to make you globally attractive. We have a very vibrant community in eMigr8, and we have, different services that we render in those communities, right? So one of such events is the open day where we're giving general free information. Use the chat room as we progress and ask questions, right? In the chat room, ask a lot of questions. Our coaches will do well to cover as many questions as possible. So general inquiry, we do that free most of the time, 100% of the time. We also have coaching sessions, hand-holding sessions, self-assessment, self-directed roadmap sessions that we, can guide you in curating. We also help review your global talent visa application. We also help review endorsement review process for those that didn't get it the first time and you want to review. We can help you do that, right, in our ecosystem. However, we also have the premium circle, which is called the eMigr8 circle. This we deal with here is what we're trying to look at here is, give me a second. Fantastic. We look at personalized coaching sessions for individuals who are looking to maybe switch career into tech, maybe, due to their circumstances or due to your uniqueness of your circumstances, you need special attention, right? We have such packages. They are paid packages, by the way. That's why it's called premium package. We have custom service. About 85% of what we do at eMigr8 are free, right? We share information for free. We have videos on YouTube that is free. You can binge on them anytime you want. We have eMigr8's open coaching sessions, right? We have visa specific hours. These are free product or packages that we have that you can leverage. However, that reminds me, if you are on the call to the end of the call, we also give gifts. We come bearing gifts. So there are gifts that I'll be giving out to those that will stay to the end of the call and to the most vibrant person in the chat who has questions, right? If you're interested in any of our packages, whether it's the free package or the premium package, eMigr8 visa.com is where you want to go to, right? eMigr8.com / visa is where you want to go to, or eMigr8.net Bincom.net / eMigr8 is where you want to go to start the journey. Basically, we want to know where you are. So there's a short form. Just give us the information, where you are, what path are you looking at, so that we can connect you with the right resource, right? We have other packages which speaks to visa packages that we advise on, that we speak to, that we have coaches in-house that can help you navigate. One of such is Move to the UK as a global talent is a package in the eMigr8 ecosystem. The focus is on the United Kingdom, and that is the UK Global Talent. For those who are familiar with Tech Nation, that's the UK Global Talent. If you are interested in that, we have packages around that. We have a lot of resources, free resources online around that, and we have coaches in-house that can also help you navigate that journey. Move to the UK as an individual or as a founder. All right, we have that package also. We have moved to the US as the global talent. We have moved to Canada as a startup, which is the Canadian startup visa. Now, these are all package that we have in the eMigr8 ecosystem, in the eMigr8 community, and that we advise on. To know more about this package, please join our communities. We are on WhatsApp, we're on Telegram, we're on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn, we're on YouTube. Any of this platform, do where to subscribe, do where to join, right? Any of this platform, you would be afforded enough information that you can leverage, on your journey, right? One of the things I ask is that engage, right? Engage, like, share, comment, ask questions, Do know that it's a community, so be brief and brilliant when you answer the question so that the coach can quickly pick up your question and give you the necessary information that you're sorting after or that you're looking for. So do where to engage. I would share the link to join this network in the chat, so don't worry. You can just click on the link when I share it and you can join, right? The eMigr8 is incubated by, a development center, a dev center called the Bincom Dev Center. All right. So Bincom, it's the incubator of eMigr8, right? And Bincom has other packages and other products like eMigr8 that will help you become globally attractive in the tech ecosystem, right? And one of such products is the Bincom Global Tech Program. This is very useful to beginners and to beginners and intermediate people, or someone that is just looking to change career and change career into tech. You want to leverage the Bincom Global Tech Program. The promise of value here is that you're going to learn skills, you're going to gain exposure, and you're going to gain experience because the experience and exposure comes from working on real life projects, right? So self-learning is beautiful, but you learn better when you're learning on real life projects, right? And you get a better exposure. So if you're in the room or you know somebody that's connected to you, that's looking to switch to tech, or there's a beginner in tech, right, or a tech enthusiast, please send them this link. All right, bincom.net/global tech is where they want to go to start their journey or where they want to go to continue their journey. If you've been on a self-taught, self-learning path for a while, you want exposure, and this platform is going to give you exposure. We also have Become a Tech Talent. Now, this is a paid service, right? For guys that are looking at the UK ecosystem, right? You want to migrate to the UK ecosystem, or you want to work in the UK, for example, or remotely, right? Physically or remotely, right? We have a coaching session, a product called Become a Tech Talent. It is subsidized to £1,000 for a 3-month process, right? If you are interested in this, the promise of value here is that we're going to teach you tech, training in tech, right? We're going to give you tech career coaching services. We're going to connect you to a company where you can become an apprenticeship or you can do a volunteer job, right? To gain exposure and to gain skills and loads of other benefits that we will put in your way just to equip you for the job market in the UK. Now, if you're interested in this, right, go to bincom.net/global tech, right, to register your interest, or send a text message or WhatsApp to the number on the screen, right? And that's we would get across to you once we have any information from you saying you are interested in the global becoming a tech talent. We're going to reach out to you and connect you. Now, this is a pathway to landing a tech job that comes with a tech visa, right? And it's very good for junior developers, for intermediate guys, and even advanced guys that are looking to get a job that comes with sponsorship in the UK. All right. So if you're already in the UK and you're looking to get a job in the UK, if you're outside of the UK and you're looking for remote gigs in the UK, this is a beautiful platform you want to leverage at this time. All right. We also have other services like the mentoring platform. So if you are applying for any tech visa route, one of the things they look out for is your recognition or your impact story or your recognition story. And one of the things that feed into those kind of conversation is are you mentoring somebody at the moment? Have you mentored a group of people? Right. So mentorship is a big deal. It shows impact. It shows that you're giving back. It shows that you are a thought leader in your field, which is one of the things that many of the countries giving visas opportunity are looking out for. They're looking out for top industry leaders who are also mentors, who can come in and mentor some talent in their ecosystem. So if you're in the room and you're a top expert, you want to mentor people, right? We have a platform, Bincom mentoring platform. It is open for both mentors and mentees. So if you're a tech enthusiast, if you're young, on your early phase of your journey, you're looking for a mentor, please go on the platform, register on the platform, register your interest, and we're going to connect the mentors to the mentee. And we have a site we want you to go to, bincom.net/mentor registration. It's with a very simple form. We want to know, what field of expertise, what field are you and what's your level of expertise, and Are you a mentee? What are you looking to learn? We can do the match, we can do the connection, and yeah, that again will help you grow your confidence, help you grow your eligibility criteria, whether optional or mandatory now, depending on which country you are applying or which company you're applying to. All right. Then most of the visa opportunity are targeted towards product-led digital organization, right? So if you are in consulting and you have worked in services for a while in tech, right, you might not be eligible for some of the opportunities that are out there because they are looking out for product-led digital technology. So have you built a product before? Have you grown a product before? Have you owned a startup before? And there are a lot of people in the room, a lot of people that have joined our sessions who haven't been part of a product process, right? So we created the Labs by Bincom. It's a fantastic opportunity for you to build your own startup, build a product, right? And it's a program that runs for 3 to 6 months. So if you're in the room and you're looking to build a product or you built one before, you want to build more, you want to increase your portfolio, right? As a project manager, as a product manager, as a developer, Last by Income is a perfect opportunity for you. What happens here is that 3 to 10 cohort members come together, pick an idea, ideate it, turn it into a solution, right? Solve a problem and scale it, take it to the market and scale it. You can use that as you can add that product to your portfolio. You can use that product as part of your application process as a supporting document, optional criteria, to show that you've built a product before, right? So Last by Income is a 3 to 6 month program. It's very intensive. You have to come serious. You have to come ready, right? And if you're interested, I believe everybody in the room should be interested in Last by Income because it gives you an opportunity to even build more product for those that have built product before. And for those that haven't even built at all, this is a fantastic platform to build a startup, right? Bincom.net/labs is where you want to go to, right? This is open to the premium community. It's available to the premium community, but if you're not yet in the premium community and you want to be part of Labs by Bincom, go to bincom.net/lab, register your interest, and we can schedule a call and speak to the uniqueness of your circumstance, and maybe we can navigate from there. All right. We have the tech career coaching service. This speaks to folks that are trying to land a tech job, whether in the UK, the US, Canada, even in Nigeria. We have a tech career coaching service that you can leverage on, right? To build relevant experience, to know what you should be working on, to know what should go into your CV and what should not be in your CV, for example, to connect it with tech recruiters who are looking for skill sets, who are looking for talent, I should say, skill talent that they can pitch to organization that they represent. Now, with talking to tech recruiters, you get inside information as to what they are looking for, right? And you know which of the jobs are offering visa sponsorship for those that are in countries where they are seeking for visa sponsorship, right? You have, a lot more information than just going online and applying randomly for job, right? That's why this platform exists. It's a tech career coaching platform. It's a coaching service. It's a premium service. And if you're interested in this platform, please, bincom.net/tech career coaching is where you want to go to, right? For that, we've spoken about a lot of visa routes in the past. So I'll just use this slide to showcase some of the visa route that we've spoken about and that we have packages on, right? So startup, for those that have a startup business or are building a startup product, there are visa opportunities for you in the UK, in the US, in Canada, in France, in Germany, various visa opportunities. You can take a screenshot of this slide and we can talk about it later on. Depending on your uniqueness or where you want to go to, we can unpack each of the visa route. We also have videos on YouTube that has unpacked some of them, and we can go further if you have questions. Also for talent, if you are a top talent and exceptional talent, you've built a product, you've scaled the product in your market into multiple markets, into, you have a good portfolio, right? Global Talent Visa, for otherwise called Technician for the UK, is a fantastic visa to look at. We also have the O1 individual visa, O1 individuals with extraordinary ability visa in the US. We have the Global Talent Stream for Canada. We have the Global Talent Visa for Australia. Then we have the French Tech Visa for France. These are all talent visas, and you can choose, which of the ecosystem do you want to play in? Are you, more in tune to the Canada ecosystem? So we have a lot of content that you can binge on. We can also have calls where we can unpack what the global talent stream means and what you should be looking at. What the O1 visa in the US mean. We have a video on YouTube. You can go and check that out. And if you have a question, you can come on the ecosystem, which is our community, and ask questions. And a coach will be around to answer whatever question you have. We have employment-based visa that we have packages on. We have temporary work visas, otherwise called the digital nomad visas. If you're interested in any of these packages, time would not allow us talk about each and every one of them. But on today's session, our coach is going to touch on multiple, more than one of these visa, including the innovator founder visa today. So, it's a good day. It's a good time to log on. It's a good session you joined today. But we also have a community where we can help you unpack them specifically depending on your unique circumstances. Like I said, if you have questions, put them in the chats and we would get across to them. The visa landscape I just showed you now are all looking for exceptional talent people. They're all looking for people that are globally attractive. They're all looking for talent that will come into their ecosystem to create opportunities or to close a gap. Now, most economies have gaps or shortage in several industries, including the tech industry. So they're looking for talent that can close that gap, or they're looking for talent that can come in and create job opportunities for their people. So you come with your startup or you come with your idea and build your startup and employ people, and in turn, they pay taxes and contribute to the GDP of that economy. So it's a win for everybody. So the lowest common denominator is becoming globally attractive. That is what your journey should be about. That's what you should be focused on, becoming globally attractive. And the beautiful part of this visas opportunity that eMigr8 focuses on is that they give you pathway to settlement. They are very family friendly. They are tech focused, right? They are beginners friendly. And we have this is not an exhaustive list. We have opportunities to discuss and unpack these visas with you. So you're not going to be working alone. We also have previous editions of Open Day that are on YouTube, right? That you can go binge on and get enough or more information as regards to your path. But today, I'll skip this for today. This is the landscape of 2023, which talked about the visa landscape of 2023, what changed, what's new, what was abolished, what was introduced. I can share the link for those that are interested. If you're interested, just put on the chat that you're interested in the 2023 tech-enabled visa landscape, and we could share with you. Now, if you're in the room and you're wondering, do I qualify for any of these visa routes, or I'm confused, I need to know more. I don't know where I am at the moment. Fantastic. Welcome. We are going to be talking about settle in the UK as a tech talent today, and Coach Badi will be the first to speak with you before our guest speaker today. But before Badi comes up, I just wanted to share this information that if you are a newbie or you're a beginner in the room, don't sign off yet, right? We have packages that are very newbie friendly, that are very beginner friendly, and this package include designing a personalized roadmap for you, right? That will take you from step 1 to step 2 to becoming globally attractive. So if your question is, how do I become globally attractive? Where do I start from? Right? We have a coach in the room that's going to answer most of your question, but an hour, 30 minutes might not be enough to unpack some of the uniqueness of your questions. So we want you to come into the ecosystem, come into the community, sign up for this newbie program, right, where we'll have a self-directed roadmap for you, personalized to you, things you should be doing in month 1, things you should be doing in week 1, things you should be doing in month 6, right, to become globally attractive. Now, it is open to everybody, beginners, intermediates, even experts who are looking for personalized roadmap kind of project, based on the uniqueness of your job or the uniqueness of your circumstances. We have a package for you. So feel free, connect, feel free, join the community and ask questions, right? Be vibrant in the community, and we would make sure you get all the resource that we can afford you, all the information that you need to make your path and your journey seamless. All right. Coach Barry, are you in the room yet?
Yes, I am ready.
All right, fantastic. So I'm going to hand over to you now to take us further. I'm just going to stop sharing. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for being here.
Then.
To you.
Thank you, Moody. I appreciate the opportunity as well. Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us in this edition of eMigr8 Open Day. So what Moody had done is he had done introduction around what eMigr8 is and what eMigr8 is not. What I will be doing in my session is just to share with you some tips and some information around the eMigr8 Settle in the UK as a tech talent package. It's actually a premium eMigr8 package. However, we're also going to be giving a lot of tips if you are doing it yourself. We have a number of people in our communities who are actually taking these journeys by themselves, and eMigr8 supports that. As Moody said earlier, we actually run a freemium model. A freemium model is most of what we do, we actually do for free, but then we do charge a premium for some services and some packages as well. So my session, I will be talking about the Settle in the UK as a tech talent, our premium package, but I will be saying and sharing quite a number of tips for you, even if you are doing the journey yourself. Right after me, we'll be speaking with one of our eMigr8 successes. We're very proud of him. Johnson Lawal is in the room already. He's a member of the community, and also he's been able to take this journey, and he's going to share a little bit. He's going to come on a different coaching session in the future, but for today, he's just going to share a little bit in terms of insight into what the journey looks like if you are coming on board that premium package, whether you are in your home country looking to relocate and settle, or you're already in the UK and you're looking for a pathway for settlement. So regardless of which bucket you fall in, if you're in your own country, you're looking for an option to relocate and an option for settlement. If you're in the UK already, you're looking for the option for settlement only. Regardless of which bucket you fall into, the journey is similar, and we're going to basically be explaining what that journey looks like. And Johnson will be sharing from his own personal experience of using some of these Beacom Dev Center plus eMigr8 services as well. There will be room for questions, but we prefer that you drop those questions in the chat, or if you're already a member of one of the communities, it's best that you drop those questions in the community as well. Whichever one of the community you do belong to, drop the questions there. The community managers are on the call. They'll be able to bring those questions up into this open day. And even if we do not answer the questions all during this open day, the community is actually there to help as well. This is part of our free offering on the eMigr8 platform to help get your questions answered as quickly as possible. That's part of what we do have available to be able to help. We want to help within the eMigr8 platform. Most of the coaches on the eMigr8 platform, they're actually there and they're on this platform because they want to be able to give back. They want to be able to contribute. Some of us stumbled on some information by accident, right? Some of us stumbled on the information without realizing that they were valuable information as at that point in time. We are limited by time, as I said, but we absolutely want to help. And so with the community, there are quite a number of coaches there. WhatsApp is the best community today to join, but there are multiple communities on Telegram, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and we're looking forward to all of them becoming as vibrant as our WhatsApp community. So you're welcome. And as Moody said earlier, if you wait till the end of this session, we do have a gift for you if you wait till the end of this session. So you're welcome to eMigr8 Open Day. I'll share my screen in a moment, but I would like to ask so that I know how to focus my presentation. If you could just drop in the chat, which one of these 5 categories do you belong to? Category 1 is you're a beginner in the field of technology. Category 2, you are intermediate in the field of technology. Category 3, you are advanced in the field of technology. Category 4, you have moved to the UK, but you are not yet on a pathway to settlement, so student visa, post-study visa, and so on. And category 5, you're already clear on a specific visa opportunity of the 3 I will be talking about today, and you are looking forward to applying for that visa within the next maybe 1 month or thereabout. So let us know what category you do fall. Is it ready to apply? That's category 5, or category 4, which is you are not yet on a pathway to settlement and you're looking for that. Category 3, you are advanced in the field of technology. Category 2, you are intermediate in the field of technology. Category 1, you are a beginner or a newbie. You haven't even started anything at all in the field of technology. Do let us know which one of this category you do fall. And I'm hoping I will be seeing your messages in the chat. And if you are watching the replay video, please do drop yours as well in the comments where you're watching this replay video from. My session is actually part 2 of a session that we did a couple of months back. And so I'm just going to run through some of these slides because we've done this session, this part 1 of the session before. And so if you haven't already, what we ask you to do is if you go on emigratvisa.com/techvisa, there's a form there on that landing page. If you fill the form, you will get a mail that has a lot of resources that we have to offer on eMigr8 platform. These are many of our free resources. You will get a lot of them. One of those resources is the one we labeled Video 1K. Video 1K is a resource that we've done around settling in the UK as a tech talent, and it gives a lot of insights, which I will not be repeating during this session today. I would just assume that you already have that information, and in case you don't have the information, that's fine. This will still be useful for you. What you just need to do is spend some time to go back to that particular video. All of the information is still relevant, and spend some time watching the video as well, because it gives a lot of information that I will not focus on during the session today. But just to give a quick summary of what the eMigr8 package is. And before I go to that summary, I'll just mention that this package we're talking about is just one of the many packages we have to offer on the eMigr8 platform. As I said earlier, eMigr8 itself offers a freemium model. Many things for free, a number of things that we charge for in terms of a premium, right? And so we have many packages on the eMigr8 platform. Move to the UK as a global talent, move to the US as a global talent, move to the UK as an innovator founder, and quite a number of packages. But the one I will focus on today, and we're going to be talking about, is a particular package which combines 3 visas opportunities in the UK together, which is the Settle in the UK as a tech talent. That's the name we've given that particular package. By way of summary, what that package does is that it gives you options both for a beginner and also at intermediate level in the field of technology. You're able to move or settle with your spouse and dependents because the 3 visa opportunities, and I'll come to them, all the 3 of them will allow that. You are able to use this package if you want to switch from a different visa opportunity to this one, obviously obeying all immigration rules that surround switching and settlement. You will need time and equity investment to be able to use this package. So this is not something where overnight we're saying you will just land a visa overnight if you are not already qualified. You will need to actually build and become globally attractive, and then based on that, you have options. There's an investment budget required. At an absolute beginner level, you will need between 10,000 to 75,000 pounds in terms of investment. But then, and you also need a time investment, a minimum of 3 months to 6 months, at least 3 to 6 months timeline is required if you're looking at using this particular package. As I said, we went into details about the package in the last open day, in one of the previous open days. So I'm not going to go into the fact that we have many successes. And you will hear from one of our successes in a moment anyway, if you wait till the end of this call. I won't go into those details. Many successes at this point. I won't go into details around the fact that you don't need technical background, that you can move with this route to the UK. I won't go into details that we are not immigration consultants. We are not legal consultants or lawyers. We don't offer immigration advice on the eMigr8 platform. What we do is that we are a technology platform, and what we do is and hold you using information that is available to us. This is important to know. We do partner with lawyers, we do partner with legal consultants and immigration consultants where needed, but for many tech talents, that's not what they need, and we provide to you what you need. I won't go into details of each one of the visa opportunities at this point as well, because I'm going to drill down into it in a moment. One of them is the UK Global Talent Visa, where you need to show yourself as globally attractive in the field of technology. I'll go into details. UK Skilled Worker Visa, where you need to land a job that will give you something called the Certificate of Sponsorship in the right occupation code. And then, of course, the UK Innovator Founder Visa, where you need to build a startup that is adjudged as innovative, viable, and scalable. These are the 3 visa opportunities that comes into the bucket of this package called the Settled in the UK as a tech talent. But it gets better because it comes with something called the eMigr8 guarantee. And the eMigr8 guarantee is that we will earn most of our fee only at the point of your success. And so what that means is that eMigr8 is going to do everything, and we're going to invest in you as regards this particular package itself. So I'm not going to go into a lot of those details as I mentioned, and I know I was talking very fast because all of this, we have spent a session for this, and I've directed you to that session where you can get those details. Video 1K. If you ask for the community managers in eMigr8 to say you're trying to get access to Video 1K, they will direct you to how you can find that particular resource. And I also said, if you go to the URL emigrate8visa.com/techvisa, fill the form, you will get a series of resources. One of those resources is that particular Video 1K. Now, with this eMigr8 unique package, and which is the Settle in the UK as a tech talent, it gives you quite a number of advantage, which is the reason why we believe that if you are exploring different options for relocation and settlement to the UK specifically, we believe that this may be one of the viable and maybe one of the best options, particularly if you already had some interest in the field of technology. Maybe you were not in tech already before, but you already had some interest to say, maybe I want to get into the field of tech. This may be the viable route for you. If you're already in tech and you're already doing some things in tech, whether on the technical side of technology or the business side of technology, this is very viable for you as well. So it's good for beginners, it's good for you if you're already in tech. And if you already have some startup experience, you've built digital technology products in the past, or you've worked in startups in the past, this is, you even have a better advantage if your profile fits that. On the technical side of tech, you could be a software developer, you could be a cybersecurity expert, you can be an infrastructure and DevOps engineer, you can be a C# developer, and several different aspects of technology that is technical. But you can also be on the business side of technology. So you can be a product manager or project manager. You can be a digital marketer. You can be a scrum master, agile delivery lead, sales, right? There are opportunities in sales and partnership, investor relation. There are several different non-technical aspects of technology as well that you could use in terms of for this package. Also, if you've already had an experience in a different industry in the past, this may be a useful package to consider. The reason is because you will likely have transferable skills, and those transferable skills you may be able to leverage on. In the world of technology today, we have things like fintech, which is financial technology, which means you are bringing expertise in finance, banking, all of those kind of things, plus technology to do something that is going to change the world or could change the world. If you're a lawyer, legal tech, it's really growing, and you are able to use that for your own advantage as well. Now, and I can mention there's almost no industry that you can talk about right now that they probably haven't added tech at the end, to say meditech, civic tech, and so on. So get the point to say, don't say, oh, I'm not in technology at all, because the truth is technology is disrupting multiple sectors. So you may actually already have transferable skills. I say to some people to say, if you've grown up the way I grew up, you've probably done business analysis, for example. You may not know in your career that some of the things you were doing is called business analysis, because in some third world countries, it's not particularly an attractive industry or an attractive knowledge track for you to build on. But in the Western countries, they value roles like data analyst, business analyst, and so on. Those roles are highly, highly, highly valuable. And a lot of people do those things without thinking about it twice. So here's the point, is that you could have those transferable skills that you can then transfer into the field of technology. So you are not really starting as an absolute beginner, because the truth is that you already had some skills that you are now bringing into the field of technology. People leadership is people leadership in any sector, whether tech or any other one. It's still people leadership. Sales is sales. Whether it's tech or you're selling something physical, it doesn't matter. It is still sales at the end of the day. So that's one of the things I wanted to point out, to say, regardless of where you are, you could actually find out that you already have some things that you can transfer into the field of technology. Now, with this unique package with eMigr8, what it does is that you are actually able to move and settle in the UK as a globally skilled person in the field of technology. As Moody said earlier, for us, our idiosyncrasy in eMigr8 is that if you are globally attractive, you have options. You can decide to stay in your own country and then work remotely, or work within that local ecosystem. You can decide to move to any country of the world, because the reason why this works is very simple. Many countries of the world, in fact, every forward-thinking country of the world, has created a visa opportunity or the other to attract you if you are globally attractive. They want you to move to their jurisdiction. They want you to settle in their jurisdiction. If you are using this package, you will build at least one startup in the ecosystem by investing your time, your experience, and your equity in building that startup. And which to say you may not be building the next Paystack, which to say you may not be building the next Facebook. We don't know is the point. But because you are building that startup, you already are able to meet your short-term objective, which is that you want a visa to settle in the UK. But the journey doesn't end at that point. The journey continues after you've even moved your family, because what these visa opportunities allow you is for you to be able to grow in the field of technology. You will also be helping other techies in the ecosystem. The tech ecosystem is not one of the ones where you walk alone. No, you don't. Right? I'm not really a football fan, but that just came out. It's not one of those, because as you are building your startup, you're also helping other people. You're also bringing other people along with you. You're also leading a revolution or within your own subsector, or within that startup that you are building as well. And eMigr8 will support your journey throughout this entire process. we are guaranteeing a win-win-win kind of situation, because aside from yourself, there are other aspects to it, including the UK economy, which also wins because they are bringing you as a globally attractive tech talent into their economy. And this is what we're talking about as regards the eMigr8 package that we are focusing on at this moment. Now, the next step is that if you're interested in this package, the next step is the eMigr8 coaching sessions. And the reason why the coaching session, which is the personalized road mapping session, is important is because no two people are the same. What we do with those sessions is that we take a look at where you have been, your past, what you have been doing so far in terms of your experiences, in terms of the sectors you've worked, in terms of the kinds of things you've done, in terms of relationships that you have, and so on. We look at where you are now, right? In terms of where are you right now, and then we look at where you would like to be if you were not limited by any visa. And then based on those three things and a lot of coaching and information and conversation that will happen with the coaches, we're able to chart a personalized roadmap for you as regards how you can settle in the UK as a tech talent. That road mapping session itself is valuable by itself, because you can say, oh, all I want to do is that roadmap, and then I will go on a do it myself kind of scenario. Remember, I've mentioned that one of the things we do at no cost to you is actually we run a vibrant community, and every coach as of today that is on the eMigr8 platform are required to sign off a number of hours of their time every month at no cost to any eMigr8 client. And so coaches are available to be able to support your journey, even if what you want to do is, I just want the information, I just want the roadmap, I want to be able to do that journey myself. The community will be there to support you. And then, of course, there are coaching sessions that you can have along the way that will support you as well at no cost to you. But in terms of the service itself, in terms of the premium package, what we do, and I'm going to go into a little more details at this point, and then I know Moody is going to stop me because I've almost run out of time, is that there are 3 visa opportunities. The first one is the UK Global Talent Visa. And there are 2 parts to the UK Global Talent Visa. First part of the UK Global Talent Visa is as an exceptional talent. Second part is for an exceptional promise. For exceptional talent, it means that you are already established in the field of digital technology. You have already done quite a number of things, and those things are impressive in the field of digital technology. But then there's a second part of it, which is the exceptional promise as well. With the exceptional promise, what you're saying and what your profile is saying is that you have done some things in the field of technology, and by those things that you have done, you are promising in the field of digital technology. What you need to show are there are 4 criteria, there are 5 criteria in total, and you need to be able to show 3 of those 5 criteria. You need to show if you're a leading talent in the field. You need to show a proof of innovation. You need to show proof of recognition. You need to show proof of impact or significant contribution. And finally, a proof of academic excellence. Choose 3 out of those 5. Of course, the very first one I mentioned, leading talent, is actually compulsory. So out of the other 4, you have to be able to choose 2. Your profile needs to qualify against those other criteria as well. Now, what happens is that there's a journey towards that. We believe that if you're an absolute beginner today, you've never done anything in the field of technology, within a 2-year period, you are able to actually establish yourself as a global talent and qualify under the criteria. Now, this is you've never done anything before. You are just fresh out of school. You have no transferable experience. You have no transferable skill. You've never done anything in the field of technology and so on. Your journey becomes shorter if you already have some experience, even if it's in a different sector. Your journey becomes shorter if you're already in the field of technology and you've been doing some things. Your journey becomes shorter if you're already experienced in the field of technology, and it may even be shorter if you already have some startup experience already. Your journey may be shorter. However, there's a caveat to that, because if you have more than 5 years of experience in the field of technology, you can no longer be considered as exceptional talent, exceptional promise. Your only option is to be considered as an exceptional talent, and the bar for you to be qualified as exceptional talent is much higher than exceptional promise, right? But when I say 5 years of experience, I mean 5 years of experience in the field of technology. So it means that if you've been doing other things before, to say you were in the medical line and all of that, and then you switch to tech, what they count is from when you switch to tech, not all the experiences you've had before you were in the field of technology before. So please bear that in mind if you're looking at yourself and you're assessing yourself in terms of what are my chances for this particular visa opportunity. We've done an open day that drilled down into the UK Global Talent Visa. We've done an open day that gives a lot of information about what you can do at all of these steps of the way for you to, and how you can qualify under the criteria with the UK Global Talent Visa. The next visa is the UK Skilled Worker Visa. That's the second of the 3 visas that is in these buckets of the package called the Settle in the UK as a tech talent. With the UK Skilled Worker Visa, the focus is for you to land a job that comes with work visa sponsorship. And you are able to land this even if you are still in your home country, or you are already in the UK looking for switching from one visa to the other. There are some caveats towards switching. So if you're a student, you must finish your studies before you can switch, or you have to go back to your own country to go apply, right? Those are the 2 options there. But bear that in mind, there are different rules along those lines. And you will need to get that visa in a certain occupation code. eMigr8 focuses only on technology route. So if you're interested in a different route and different career line and so on, eMigr8 cannot help as at this point in time. We may expand to more other routes in the future, but as at today, we focus strictly on tech visas, right? The reason why I mentioned that is because the skilled worker visa is not only available for technology field, but we focus 100% on the technology field. And with the technology field, there are 9 stages for you to be able to land a job that will come with work visa sponsorship. The first stage is for you to be open to new opportunities. And one of the ways to measure that is very simple. On your LinkedIn today, how many people are in the last 1 month, how many people have reached out to you to say they are interested in talking to you about a role that your CV or your LinkedIn is signaling? Because if you're open to opportunities, technical recruiters are looking for you. They will start looking for you at that level, right? And then if you're actively applying, how many people are shortlisting you for interviews? Those are things that you want to check, because for every one of these stages that I'm showing you, there are ways in which you can optimize your profile to make sure that you have better successes at each one of these stages. Stage 9 of this process is when you get the work visa sponsorship. It is easier, obviously, if you're already in the UK to get the UK skilled worker visa than when you are in your own country. But we have a number of successes that have gotten visas from their own country, moving to the UK on skilled worker visa, using some of the tech career coaching tips. And we do have an open day for this. I see Moody raising their hand. And the last one is the Innovator Founder Visa. You will need to build a startup that is adjudged as innovative, viable, and scalable. That's what you will need to do for you to qualify under the UK Innovator Founder Visa. And what we do with the eMigr8 package, as I mentioned, is that we will target your profile towards all 3 visas at the same time. So we are not asking you to choose at the beginning of the journey. When we've taken the journey to a certain extent, we will start having an idea to say, this is the one that will be priority 1 for you. This will be priority 2. This will be priority 3. It will depend on the roadmap. It will depend on some of the things you've done. It will depend on how well you're doing with some of the things you have to do within the program and so on. You will need time if you're using this package. We ask you to dedicate a minimum of 20 hours a week for the duration of the program. A minimum of 10 hours a week. We prefer you to do 20 hours a week. That's what we prefer, but the minimum is 10 hours a week. Because when we discovered knowledge gaps within your CV, your aspirational CV, we will be taking you through training programs to fill those knowledge gaps. As I mentioned, you will build at least 1 startup. Actually, with the program, you'll be building 2 startups. The first one for you to actually practice learning, and we use the program Labs by Beacom. Moody talked about it. But the second one will be a startup that you yourself believe that it could change the world. We will work with you with ideating that startup. So don't worry about saying, I don't have any idea as at this moment. All of that will come within that eMigr8 package. And also, we will add project assistant, technical assistants, and so on, supporting your journey, because you are coming into that package at the manager level, being able to run with your team to deliver on your objective. Don't forget, your objective is not just to land a visa. Your objective is actually to become globally attractive, because if you are globally attractive, you have options. Back to you, Moody.
Thank you, buddy. That was a very thorough one. I was telling you that time. You need to catch your breath. We still need to unpack some of the things you've talked about, and I believe there will be questions in the chat already. So if you're hanging out there, please drop your question in the chat. Right? Let's feel the energy. Let's know, where are you having interest? Where are your interests? Do you have things that we need to clarify? I see, does my degree in computer science count as an experience? It's a degree in computer science. So it's a degree. All right. So we need to unpack further. But to take it to take us even deeper into the conversation, we have a success story in the house. Coach Johnson Lawal. Johnson, are you there? So Johnson has about 10 to 15 minutes to share his journey with us and answer, questions that we might have, right? And just inspire us. Part of the things we like to give in this session is also inspiration. Just inspire us that are on the journey to stick to it. All right, Johnson, over to you. Good to have you on the platform.
Yeah, thank you so much, Moody. Thank you. Happy to be here. Thank you, everyone, for joining the session. So just a bit of background about me. I, several years ago, probably 10 years, I was still a student and was looking for a place to do my internship, which was the 6-month internship in my home country, which is Nigeria. All right. Luckily enough, I found this company called Beacom and I applied and I got in as an intern. Right. The internship was about 6 months, very short, but I got the chance to be exposed to an actual industry, which was fintech at that time. I got the chance to work as a software engineer, and I got the chance to meet some brilliant minds. And those relationships were beneficial to me later, which is very key in my story. Right. After my internship, I went back to school, of course, graduated, and then started my career in tech. Right. I worked as a tech software engineer for a period of time, after which I transitioned into product management, which is much more business-like, right? I worked for a couple of years. After spending time working in some of the leading companies in Nigeria, I realized that I think it was time to be globally attractive. I'd seen some of my other friends and colleagues, they were doing amazing things on the global scale with the same set of skills I had. But I found that there was actually a gap. There was a gap between the experience I had. There was a gap between how I presented that experience and my aspirations. So good enough, at that point in time, I got to know about the Global Tech Program by Beacom again, and I joined the program. I joined the program and I was added to a team, right? I was added to a team as a product manager, and I started participating in daily functions, daily stand-ups, contributing to the team, and also learning. one thing about the program was that I was able to do the program in the evenings, right? So I think I chose a time that fell to the evening time. So I was able to keep my day job while also contributing to the program and learning on it. And I also had to allocate, I think, about 10 to 20 hours every week for the program, right? So we, the team I joined was a product team. We were trying to build a product. I was functioning as a product manager and contributing. At that same time, I heard about the Bincom Labs program. Okay, Bincom Labs program is a 3 to 6 month program where the goal, the objective is to build a startup with a small team, right? I joined the Bincom Labs program, which we came up with an objective. I had to assemble a team, right? And some of these team members were from the Bincom community, right? After assembling this team, we came up with an objective on a product that I wanted to build. Okay, good enough. I had my coach, which was Mr. Badi, and I shared some of these objectives with him, gave him progress at every stage of the journey. Right. We started working on this idea, which was interesting. However, some of the group members started falling away and just losing interest. Well, after about 6 months, we were able to push the idea to a very good stage. We have started building the products. However, the main objective of the of building a startup and a product in the Bincom Lab program was not reached. But there were some things that came out of that program for me that ended up being very instrumental to my journey. Firstly, in the program, I was assigned a mentor, right, who was also a senior product manager in the industry, who, when I came to the UK, was very instrumental in helping me settle also, right? So I was able to build very key relationships. Secondly, during the program, one of the requirements for the Bincom Lab program was that I had to work with my team to come up with a pitch deck for the product we're building, right? And that was the first time I actually wrote or came up with a pitch deck. And pitch deck was this kind of thing we used to hear on the news. Someone did a pitch deck, they got funding. So it was like this big deal and all that. But good enough, with the guidance of the team, with collaborating with other team members, we were able to come up with a pitch deck, which we presented to coaches and some of the other senior product managers, and they approved, right? For me, I was also lucky enough to be selected the leader in that Bincom Labs group. And what that means was I was able to gain some leadership experience, which was going to be very beneficial to me when I actually started building my product in the later stages of the journey, right? Like I said, the main objective in the Bincom Labs program, it was quite challenging. We couldn't achieve the main objective in the 3 to 6 months, but these other skills and these other learnings were very, very important to me and were very, very beneficial. And that was the second phase of my journey, Bincom Labs and all of the learnings. At this stage, I started speaking with my coach, and we decided that it was time to explore some other options that would make me a global tech talent, right? We went through the options, looked at my strength, looked at the skill set I brought, and also looked at my long-term aspirations. And I decided, working with my coach, to settle on the founder route, right? The first step in that stage was to actually review my resume, if I can recall correctly. So we had to review my resume. I had to update it. I also had to come up with a pitch deck. And that was important at this stage because one of the criteria for this was to come up with an innovative idea. So at this stage, I was working alone on the pitch deck. So I was able to come up with a pitch deck much more easily because this was my second time. So the Bincom Labs program had been very, very, very beneficial to me. After coming up with the pitch deck, shared it with my coach and some other mentors, got feedback, refined it, and then came up with the last, which was the business plan, which was one of the criteria I recall. I've never written a business plan before. I'm more of a product and technical guy, but with guidance from the team, a lot of feedback, took some time, I was able to come up with a business plan. The good thing about that is that because I did that, I spent a lot of time, invested a lot of time in that. It gave me a deeper understanding of my products in terms of the risks, in terms of where we're going, the long-term objective, and in terms of possible questions that I was going to be asked about this product when I was presenting it. So coming up with the business plan, working with people and coaches was very key. After that, after coming up with all these requirements, I remember working with my coach, and then we decided to submit to the endorsing bodies. So part of the requirements for the founder route is that you're going to submit your idea to endorsing bodies, all this idea and all these artifacts to the endorsing bodies. So there was a list of endorsing bodies. We started going through them one after the other. There was a particular endorsing body that I worked with my coach, and we're quite optimistic about. After submitting the pitch deck and everything to the endorsing body, unfortunately, they rejected the the idea and the product idea, and came back with a rejection letter, and they also stated the reason for the rejection. Good enough, working with my coach, Mr. Badi, he advised that I could actually respond to the rejection and just justify their concerns, because the rejection came with a concern. And I just basically came up with a justification telling the endorsing body, I understand your concerns, and I've managed your concerns and your risks in this area of the business. I resubmitted the idea to the endorsing body, and this time around, they actually accepted and endorsed the business, right? After that, that was good news and a very key milestone. I had to, of course, apply for my visa Nigeria. This took a couple of weeks, and then I had to process my traveling, actually. And then I arrived in the United Kingdom. Arriving in the United Kingdom as a global tech talent, very key milestone. However, even when I arrived, I found out that there were still some other things I were required to settle. And this is where community became important to me again, because I had to modify my CV to align with the United Kingdom, the format that employers require for the United Kingdom, which is one of the things Mr. Badi spoke of earlier, right? I had to modify my CV, I had to narrow down the companies, and I had to also think about how to gain UK work experience. Good enough, I had my mentor who I'd worked with previously with me, where I could reach out for guidance. I was also working with my coach during periodic one-on-one session and updating them. And I was able to walk through this process and even get a job opportunity, right? The good thing about the founder route is that while you're working on your business idea, you can also be working in a professional job. So, and that's what I've been doing for the past few months. And it's an interesting journey because for me, it's like a double win. You get the chance to work on something amazing and exciting and build it with a brilliant team. And you also get a chance to still keep gaining industry experience. And that's where I am at this stage. And I just hope to continue on that journey. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Fantastic. Thank you. It's good to hear your story. That was very inspiring. All right. So guys, the floor is yours for question, either for Mr. Badi or for Johnson. Mr. Johnson. All right. I would start with a question for Mr. Johnson. Right. What is the difference between, apart from the CV, which you have mentioned, what's the difference between working in the UK and working in your home country, Nigeria? What would you say is the major difference between both?
Okay. For me, I think there are a number of differences. I wouldn't narrow it to one. One of the things I found when I came here is that in the UK, they are very, employers are very interested in cultural fit. So in Nigeria, based on my own experience, once you are skilled and you have all the experience, you could apply to organizations, and a lot of them, that's what they're just evaluating. But in the UK, like Mr. Badi shared in one of the slides, at the second stage, they're actually looking for cultural fit. So they are looking, can you work in a fast-paced environment? Or are you used to working in a slow-paced environment? Are you used to working with a small team, or are you used to working with a big team? And that's a basis for rejection. I had some jobs that I applied to, and the employer simply told me, we think you're so far, the distance you're going to be traveling to the job every day is so far, and we think it's going to affect your job satisfaction level. And they basically said they don't think they were going to give me the job because of that, even though they thought I was qualified to go to the next stage. So one of the things I'll mention is very key, cultural fit here. And that's why it's good to leverage on relationship and coaches to know how to present both your skill sets and show that you are a good fit for the job, right? Secondly, is also, and I know there's limited time. Secondly, is also with regards to your CV, right? One of the things I think the coaches are going to share in the session, if you get to talk with them one-on-one, is that your CV needs to be achievement focused, right? And not just responsibilities. I think in Nigeria, I was able to get away with building a CV where I said, I did this, I did this, I did this. But yeah, people want to know, we know you've done this. What did you achieve? What impact did you make, right? So that's two things that just come to mind in this that I can share within this limited time.
All right. Thank you. I'll allow you catch your breath. The next question is for Mr. Badi. Right. Someone is asking, can a business analyst with product tech experience apply for the global tech visa exceptional promise routes?
So that would be the global talent visa, exceptional promise route. Yes, you could. But the global talent visa is looking for much more than you saying you're a business analyst. The visa is supposed to be for the leading people in the field, in that field. So if I line up 10 business analysts, what they would like to know is that you are top one, maybe top two, maximum top three of those 10 business analysts. You need to also show that you've worked in product-led digital technology. You need to also show that how you meet out of the 5 criteria, you need to meet 3 of them, one of them being mandatory, then there are other optional criteria as well. So it's much more than just saying I'm a business analyst, so therefore I qualify. There's much more for you to do, for you to show that you do qualify. And that has to do with your profile. Have you spoken in places, conferences? There are quite a number of criteria. What I would advise you to do is go look for the Tech Nation Visa Guide, read that guide twice. And then first time, read it like a storybook. Second time with a pen and paper so that you can list out some of the things that you do have that would qualify. And if you don't have those things, what are the things that you can do today so that you can qualify in the nearest future?
All right. I think that was very thorough and detailed. The next question is, I have experience working in a telecom firm in Nigeria as a network analyst. Does it count? I have also completed my master's in the UK. So this person has done his master's in the UK, has experience working as a network analyst for a telecom company in Nigeria. So it's asking, does this experience and degree count?
Well, definitely it does count. So don't forget, we're talking about 3 visas at the same time here. So sometimes it may get a bit confusing because if we're trying to drill into specifics, we should be talking about which visa does it really count for. So one of them would be skilled worker, for example, because some of those things you've mentioned, you may be able to use them as for other skills as well, along the lines of the skilled worker visa. Does it count for UK global talent? Not as much, right? Because they are looking for modern tech skills. They are looking for product-led, but you already have transferable skills. So you could actually transfer that into cloud engineering because you've done network, physical devices. You can also do network in the cloud, right? And so you could transfer that into that area. So it does count for you in that regard. And also, if you're looking at building a startup, you could say I'm building something around my area of expertise because they will look at you to say, are you a genuine founder? Genuine founder, part of the test is to say, do you even have some of the skills needed for you to build this massive, wonderful idea that you're saying will change the world? So yeah, those experiences count. And as I said to you, if you're an absolute beginner, you can use this package and this route. But if you already have some technology experience, even better. It makes things faster and easier. Not easy, but easier.
All right. Thank you. Fantastic. Guys, keep dropping the questions and we're going to run through them. Right. The next one is on the skilled visa route. And this person is asking, is it possible to change job after a period of time without notifying the home office for employer change? for skilled visa route, right?
Why would you want to do that would be my question, right? Because your visa requirement, the visa requirement states that you need your employer is actually the ones to notify Home Office, not you in the first place anyway, right? But I'm not sure why you would want to do that in any case, because if you are switching job and you are likely switching job to another employer that will also sponsor your visa anyway, right? If you're switching to another skilled worker visa. So that's likely what you're doing. So I'm not sure why you would want to do that, but that would be against your visa, the visa rules, because a visa basically is the permission the country has given you to allow you to stay. It would be against those permissions. I don't know why you would want to do that.
So it's important to also mention that for a skilled visa, it's the employer that is actually sponsoring the visa. So you cannot switch to a new sponsor without notifying Home Office. All right. I'm more interested in the business side of the program. I would like to have a call with your team. Fantastic. So I dropped the link to the communities in the chat. So just use the link to connect to the communities. And once you get in there, you can ask questions and we would get to talk there. All right. And it's also a good time to say, if you are still on the call at this time, you have 10 minutes free consultation time, free 10 minutes to speak to a coach on any subject. I would advise that you use that 10 minutes wisely. Have concrete questions that you are trying to actually find the answers to, and not just generic questions that you can Google. All right. So if you get on the community, just say, I was part of the June open day session, and the admin will connect you to a coach, put you on the schedule to speak to a coach on a particular day, most likely on a Tuesday, right? Maybe next week Tuesday, and you can use that 10 minutes to ask your question, and we can unpack more on those calls, right? So if you are in the chat, if you are still on the call right now, that is the gift that we have for you to contribute. We are contributing our own quarter to your journey. So you have to be serious now that we've given you free time, right? Okay. The speaker, back to the questions. The speakers, please, how much did you spend in acquiring all the tech products? I don't know why you're asking this question. Please, how much did you spend to acquire all the tech products till visa approval? That's a very generic question, but I'll allow Johnson try if he can put a figure to it. Johnson, the question is, how much did you spend to acquire all the tech products or that you've worked on? I believe that's the tech skills that you have before you apply.
So I'm not sure I understand the question honestly. So do you mean tech skills, or do you mean the products I built, or do you mean the visa processing fees? If you could please clarify.
So I would say your product, in terms of building your product, how much have you invested in building the product so far? That's where I thought the question went to. And so I mean, you don't have to say exact figures or anything like that, but you can just give the team an idea of, I mean, what you've been doing so far.
Yes.
Yeah. The person has answered to say product building. That's what they're looking for.
Product building, yeah. How much you spend in building your product before you applied?
Yes, so I don't have a specific number of I can come up with, but it's in the thousands of pounds. But this money is not a lump sum. I had to just to spend at once, because this journey has been about going to about two years now, and even more. So yeah, so the costs came in various batches, right? But I would say it's in thousands of pounds, but I don't think you have to start with that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I would just add to that to say Johnson was able to save costs because he did some of it himself in terms of product management and all of that. So I know he did hire some developers and so on at some point in the process, but he didn't have to hire a product manager because he already was a product manager running that product building team in itself.
Yeah, I was going to mention that there's something called sweat equity that you can put pounds or naira to, which is very key in your development stage. All right. What are the financial implications for the founders? Again, I think that connects to the last questions. I don't know if Barry wants to share on that.
So it would depend on too many things that we can't give you an estimate. That's the honest truth. Without having the coaching sessions, the free one to start with, and maybe even the road mapping session as well. It depends. What we say at this point is you need to have a budget of between £0 to £75,000, right? A lot of people would likely fall within the 0 to 10,000 to 20,000 or thereabout, but we don't know for a fact because it would depend on too many things. Do you already have experience? Do you already have some skill in the field of technology? Do you already have some of the skills that can be used? Are you a developer yourself, meaning you would actually write the code? And so all you need is the product management skills and so on. So many different things along that line. Are you already close to qualifying for one of these visa opportunities, or we are going to be starting from scratch? We need to think about that. What is the idea that you are trying to build? Does it need a lot of investment to build it out, or is something where you just need to build the product and that's it? That depends on that as well. So there are so many things to think about in terms of being able to know exactly what it will cost you, right? But for many people, you can start the journey at no cost to you, right? For many people. So what you should be looking at is first of all to say, is this what I want to do? Am I really passionate about tech? Am I really interested in using this tech route? And then once you start taking the step, it will be clearer to you to say, this is what I can do. And some things you could spend money for, you could also spend time for that same thing. So it depends on too many things to be able to say this is one figure or this is the other figure. If you are coming for the eMigr8 premium package, right? So remember we said you can do it yourself and we can support you free of charge within the eMigr8 community, or you could pay for the premium package. You need a budget of between £10,000 to £75,000. You need that budget. Not all of that is eMigr8's fee, just to say it's not our fee, it's just the budget you would need, right? But if you're doing it yourself, you could end up not spending anything at all, aside from visa fees and so on. So it depends on too many things. I hope that helps.
All right. So just to qualify, you need a budget for investment on the product that you are building if you are looking at that route. So it's that budget can go between £1,000 and £75,000, depend on the solution you are building, the skill set you have, the skill set you need to employ along the line. So that is the budget. Because I saw a question with a lot of question mark on the budgets. Right. So you might be a full stack developer that can build both front end and back end. So you don't need to hire front end and back end people, and you do the job yourself. Or you can be a developer who just focuses on one angle and need to employ somebody to do other things for you. So that is what the budget encompasses, or that's what the budget takes care of. All right, there's a
And you
question.
may have relationships as well. You may have friends that you can
Yeah.
leverage on. So too many factors to think about.
Yeah. The next question is, do you give training on cloud engineering, and what is the duration and cost for it? But you want to speak to that?
Yeah, so the simple answer is yes, we do give training. In terms of the cost and all, it would depend on too many things as well, but let me explain that in a moment. We do have 1 month classes, which we call Beacom Academy, that is able to give you the foundational skills and you're able to learn while doing. We're actually running a promo right now. So if you look for the Beacom Academy promo, we're running that at the moment. If you're watching the replay video, the promo may have ended, but at this moment when we're recording this, there's a promo. But that gives you the theoretical skill with some practical experience. In addition to that, we have something called the Beacom Global Tech Program, and Moody shared that earlier, that now takes that learned skill and then adds gain experience and gain exposure to it as well. The full program is actually 1 to 2 years for the full program for the Global Tech Program. And one of the knowledge track is infrastructure, cloud, infrastructure, cloud, and DevOps engineering. That's a knowledge track. Full program from you becoming newbie to intermediate level is 1 to 2 years, but you can opt to do a 3-month program that is targeted at moving you from one stage to the next, right? So that's available as well. And that gives you not just the learning, it gives you practical experience because you work on real life projects, and it gives you exposure as well. You get reference for the work that you actually do, and so on as well. So that's available. It's called the Global Tech Program.
All right, thank you. I think that's very thorough. How can we claim the gift, please? Can you say it again? Just join the eMigr8 community. I dropped the link for the community on the chat, the WhatsApp, Telegram, LinkedIn, YouTube community. WhatsApp, Telegram community is where you want to join. All right, and say to the admin, I was part of the June open day session, and you'll be connected. You'll be added to a schedule that connects you to a coach, and you have 10 minutes with the coach to ask them any question you have. Hope that is clear. All right. If you need the link again, please just shout out, and we'll share that again. The next question is on the premium package. Kindly give a summary of the financial investment required, and is there option for instrumental payment even after visa success? So Barry started by talking about that financial package earlier, but I think your question is taking it past asking for payment plans and stuff like that. But is there anything of such nature?
Yes, we do have opportunities for payment plans, but you will need to convince our CFO that they should allow you do that payment plan, right? They don't agree very easily to payment plans after you get the visa, because we've had a bad experience. So that's the reason. But we are very flexible, because for us, as hopefully you've noticed that as well, for us, our focus is really how can we help you? How can we add value? That's really why we do what we do at the moment. It's a business as well. We are launching eMigr8 as a startup, so don't get me wrong. A business has to make money, but we are actually interested in seeing you succeed, whether you use the free package or you use any one of our paid packages.
All right, so that opportunity exists, but you have to give a proof and a reason why you are eligible for such opportunities, right? Fantastic. Can founders, that's plural now, apply for global talent visa, like more than one founders? That sounds like a group application. So I would allow Barry answer that, because I think it's everybody answer your father's surname, but
so if your question is, can the CEO, CTO, and CEO of one startup all move on the same global talent visa, the answer is yes. However,
no,
each one of you will be assessed separately. So they want to know, you as the CEO, were you that instrumental to that startup success? And you have to provide evidence of what you did, not what we all did, though. What you did in terms of your impact, in terms of your innovation, and so on. You can point at the startup to say, this is my evidence, right? But you have to also show how you connect to that startup and why you were instrumental to the growth of that startup. But we do have a success story where all three within that organization actually moved on the UK Global Talent Visa. So yes, it is possible. With the Innovator Founder Visa, I'm not sure if that was the question. We advise that only one founder should apply at a time. That's our sincere advice. And there's a reason for that advice. We can go into that in a different session, but we would advise that you just one founder, so there can be multiple founders. It helps your application, but it should just be that this is the founder that is moving. You can go on later to then apply for the next founder. You will still be assessed separately, but that's what we advise. We can go into the details later.
All right. The beauty of it is that if you are still here, you've won yourself 10 minutes of free coaching session, and I've shared the link to the community again. Use any of those links to join the communities, and say to the admin that you were part of the June eMigr8 session, and you have 10 minutes to speak with the coach, and we can answer more personalized questions. This is a general forum, so a lot of people would not want to share personal experience here, but there we can have more personalized question and we can give you direct answers, right? So I wanted Barry to also speak to the people in the service industry, tech but service. What are their chances for a package like the one you spoke today about? People in the service or consultant, if you can put those two categories together, service and consultant in tech, what should they be looking at and what are their chances?
All right. So for you, so remember when we talked about the three visas and we said that global talent first, skilled worker second, innovator founder third. In your case, global talent will be third. The reason is because the global talent visa is clearly states that they don't want consultants. So as part of the journey, you would actually start contributing to digital product startups. It may be something you build yourself, or it may be something where you actually join a different startup as part of that journey and as part of the program. And so the reason why we put it third is because if you already have over 5 years of experience in the field, as I mentioned during my initial presentation, the chances of you landing the global talent, if you were not already close to qualifying, is lower, very low, in fact. Right? If you already were close to qualifying, then of course we can work together to say, oh, fine, what are the things you need to do to be able to further show your capability in the field? But if not, then obviously that means that we'll prioritize that effort and then focus much more on the other two, which would be the skilled worker visa and then the innovator founder visa. We've explained what you need to show in your profile to be able to qualify for both of them.
All right, thank you. And I hope that clarifies. If you're in service, I hope that gives you a clearer picture of what you should be doing. But you can come into the community and we can, further expatiate and speak to the uniqueness of your circumstance, as I like to say. There's a question here. What are the requirements to apply for the UK startup visa, please? I think the UK startup visa has been, very correct me, has been put aside.
Yeah, so the UK startup visa no longer exist for new applicants. What the visa is now is the UK Innovator Founder Visa. What the UK government has done is they combined the startup visa and the innovator visa together to form a new visa called the UK Innovator Founder Visa. It's a better visa in many ways, but in terms of the requirements, it's similar as well. You need to have a startup that is innovative, viable, and scalable. You need to meet the genuine founder requirement, and there are a few other things like that. You need to submit your startup to an endorsing body. Now there are 4 of them. There used to be over 60 of them. There are only 4 of them now. You need to submit your startup with one of those 4 to say my startup qualifies. They would assess your startup based on some of those criteria, and then they are able to give you an endorsement. If you get the endorsement, you are 99.9% chance that you will get the visa. The only reason why you wouldn't get the visa would be something like you've committed an immigration crime in the past, you've overstayed your visa in the past, things like that. But if you get the endorsement, you are more or less guaranteed you get the visa.
All right, fantastic. So I will ask that. Yes, thank you. Thank you for asking the question. He says, thank you for the clarity. Thank you for asking that question also. This question here, do you consider data analytics tech? As I even volunteers to emigrate, but no feedback yet. All right, fantastic. So the first part of the question, the second part of the question, we'll take back into the community. Are you already in the eMigr8 community? Right? If you are, then you should have gotten feedback by now, right? So do you consider data analytics tech? But that's the question. I think this person is a data scientist and wants to apply as a data analyst.
Yeah, so definitely data analysis is tech, right? So business analysis, data analysis, and even maybe data science as well. Of course, all of them are technology, right? What I think you're asking, and I'm guessing here in terms of the question, is that will data analytics qualify for these visas that we are talking about? The answer is they would, but it comes with that caveat to say you need to show how you qualify. Remember, we talked about it to say with the global talent visa, you need to show how you are top 1 or 2 within that field. With the UK skilled worker visa, you need to land a job that will come with work visa sponsorship. With the innovator founder visa, you need to be able to build a startup. So of course, you can use your data analysis skill as part of that startup in itself.
All right, fantastic. So we have less than 5 minutes to round up. If you have questions, this is the last push, I would say. If you have questions, please put it in the chat. I see a question here about e-commerce. Is it tech enough? I have built an e-commerce platform. What did you use in building the e-commerce platform? Is a question I would like to ask you. I think WordPress, right? So
It's tricky, and I think this is one of the ones where you probably want to do a coaching session, the free one. You don't have to pay for one to start with, but it's a bit tricky. There have been a number of rejections around e-commerce because if all you did was just spawn up a WordPress site and you were selling, that's not innovation, right? It's not. But if you're saying that, oh, I built a fantastic plugin that now took WordPress to a place where nobody has ever seen before, now we are talking. So you may want to talk about that e-commerce properly to help us unpack it, to say what exactly is it. But if all you did was just went to shopify.com or wordpress.com and then created a free website, no, that would not generally qualify. In the case of the global talent visa, it would generally not qualify.
but let me put a twist to that. What if the e-commerce site is servicing 1 million users monthly?
Yes, so that becomes interesting, right? But what I would pull out if I was coaching for that sort of site is I would pull out some of the innovation that we did in that e-commerce platform. So if you're serving 1 million users, you've probably had to modify WordPress to a way where it will work for you. That's what I will focus on rather than focusing on we use WordPress to start selling online.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. Just to unpack that a bit more is that by the way the visa they are looking for, the people that built WordPress are the people they want to move to the UK, not the people that use WordPress every day. Once you understand it from that perspective, but you can then say, oh, I built this fantastic plugin on WordPress that now 100,000 people are using. Oh, wow, interesting story. Let's drill down a little more into that. I don't know if that is helpful in any way.
That was helpful. That was helpful. So this person is the founder and is on the business side, but I think that was very helpful. And I think that clarifies a lot of thought and ideas. Pay attention to innovation. What is your difference? What is your niche? When you are applying for any of these visa, you have to highlight your strength and how you are using that strength to leverage numbers, right? That is something you want to pay attention to. So if you are building at the moment, and you're building towards with a plan to migrate at some point, right? And you want to move your business, please pay attention to your niche, pay attention to what it differentiates you from others, because the key thing is innovation. How innovative is your platform? How innovative is your product? And that is what the UK will be looking out for. Back to our success story, Mr. Lawan Johnson. So we're virtually at the end of coming to the end of today's session. All right. So we just wanted to ask you for advice. You have gone through the route, you've navigated the path, and you are now successful. Wish you many more success in your journey. But how would you advise a beginner and a beginner in the journey that wants to move to the UK? And how would you advise an expert who's considering moving to the UK?
Okay, thank you. So for a beginner, I think my advice would be take the journey as a marathon, not a sprint. And what I mean by that is that it might take months, it might take a couple of years, and even when you arrive in the UK, it's still a journey that is ongoing. So when you have that mindset, then what you just focus on are the key milestones on that journey, right? So take it as a marathon, not a sprint, and just enjoy the process. For an expert, what I would advise you to do is to lean in on the eMigr8 community and lean in on the eMigr8 coaches. You've acquired a lot of skills, probably, and experiences. However, it's very important to get the information you need that would help you present these skills and experiences and your ideas to the endorsing body and to employers in the correct and right way, considering you're targeting a different culture in a different location. So despite your expertise, despite the fact that you have industry experience, try not to do it on your own, lean in on the mentors, reach out on the community, and also lean in on the coach. And if you do that, I think success is inevitable.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you very much. We hope to see you in our subsequent edition to come and tell us more about your products and your successes as you journey forward. Now, back to Coach Bade. Bade, we have intermediate guys in the room and we have folks in the room looking at the product and the package. I know you've given a lot of advice today, but we still want you to share in terms of, looking at beginners and intermediates, and also professionals in the room, what advice would you give them, in making that decision, right, to switch or move to the UK or leverage on the Settle in the UK package that we've talked about today?
Yeah. So for beginners in the room, the very first step is just get started. Find the shortest or lowest, what's that called? Lowest hanging fruit for you to get started, right? If you find free trainings that you can do, please go ahead. If you find discounted trainings, please go ahead. I will plug our own trainings in Being Home Academy in there as well. But the key point is, as a beginner in the room, just get your head into that space. Don't say that it's too difficult, so I don't take the first step. If you're an intermediate, which means that you're already on that journey, what I would advise you to do is take a look forward, right? Part of what we do within the eMigr8 community is that we share a lot of information to say, this is what your profile needs to look like for you to qualify. If you know that you need to qualify in the next 6 months to 1 year or something like that, take a look today to say, let me assess myself. You can do a self-assessment. You can ask somebody to assess you. It doesn't matter, whichever way you do it. But look at the criteria. Look at where you are. So that when you are building, you don't get to the finish line and you find out that there's something I could have been doing 1 year ago that I was not doing. One of the classic examples is like software developers that don't avoid visibility, right? We've coached people who they used to get a lot of speaking invitation and all, but by default, they would turn it down, right? But then it was the few ones that they were able to do that was helpful for them to start showing that, oh, I'm a big deal in this, right? So take a look at what your profile needs to look like at the end of the journey. Well, the journey doesn't really end, just to say that it doesn't really end, because even if you've gotten the visa and all of that, there's life after the visa. So please bear that in mind. For advanced people, you're already qualified to a large extent, or you are probably close to qualifying, if not already qualified for one thing or the other. Some of these opportunities will not always be available. It will not always be available. Some countries of the world, I'll give an example of the UK Global Talent Visa. Many years ago, it used to be capped at just 200 people per year. So that if they've given 200 people in a year, the Global Talent Visa, nobody else can come for that year. So you have to wait for the next year before you can apply again. That has changed now. The door is open in the UK today. That door will not always be open. At least the UK is already talking about how things will change and all of that. Election period is coming it's on at the moment, and all of that. With the new government, there will be a change. If there's a new government, with the existing government, they've already told us the direction they are going to go. So that door will not always be open. So make A while the sun shines, right? Don't wait till I'll get around to it much later. And then if you are considering the eMigr8 premium package, right, there are two parts for you to be able to get on the package. The first part is obviously you deciding that you would like that package, but there's a second part as well. We have to accept you on the package, and there are things we're looking out for. One of those things is that are you only focused on a visa, or are you really trying to become globally attractive? The people we would like to invest in terms of investing time and all of that is because you are looking to become globally attractive. Who's to know that you are not the next Elon Musk, for example, right? And what you just need is that mentoring, that coaching, that direction, and all of that. Those are the kinds of people we're interested in. Right, ultimately. The point I'm making is that please take a look at this holistically. Yes, the visa may be the reason why you're in the room today. But I hope that you are looking at the entire journey, that entire marathon, to say, how can I be the best I can ever be, an ambassador of my country in this new country? That's what we hope you are doing. And those are our ideal candidates for this package. And those are our ideal candidates that we want to work with on this. If you're doing it yourself, we also are able to support you. We're able to support you within the eMigr8 community. There are a number of things that you can get access to at no cost to you. And then there are things that you can pay a discounted fee for as well. But we would love to help is what I would like to say. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for that. It's been a very insightful, knowledge-driven session, right? Settled in the UK. So I hope you have taken a lot of notes. I hope you now know that you qualify, right? It just begins with a step, right? And this has been brought to you by eMigr8 Open Day. We still have sessions. If you're a beginner in the room, we still have newbie session that we can work with you, right? So that journey in settling in the UK as a tech talent. If you want to connect with us and you have more information or you need more information, the numbers on the screen is the best number to reach us with, right? If you're looking at any of the visa route that we've talked about today, use the number on the screen to connect with us, join our communities to connect with us. Is the eMigr8 Open Day for the month of June. We thank you for joining. The video will be on YouTube. The recording will be on YouTube. Please do to subscribe to our channel on YouTube so that you will be notified for every time we put up new content, new information on YouTube that might be useful on your journey. Thank you very much, everyone. It has been good hosting today's session and looking forward to your success story. Thank you, Johnson Lawa, for your time today. Thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being vulnerable and sharing some of the things you had to do to get to your destination. And of course, like you said, it's a marathon and you're still on the journey. I was inspired listening to you. Thank you, Coach Bade, also for the time, right, for sharing and for enlightening us. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Do put in the work, like I always say. It is not, we can only inspire you, but you have to put in the work, right? So thank you very much. Have a good rest of the month. And we'll see you in 2 weeks and also next month. All right? Have a fantastic time. Thank you, everyone. Please do to join the community, like I said. I will continue the conversation in the community. Do to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we will also continue the conversation on YouTube, all right, on the chat sessions on YouTube. We'll see you guys again. Pay attention to our social media handles where we'll let you know who is coming up next, what we're going to be talking about, which of the visa routes opportunities we are going to be talking about. So thank you guys, and see you in the community. Have a good one.